Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the first legend of this season. Jesus did it on Christmas Day, what a surprise. Not really anybody is shocked about this one, but yeah, today we're gonna take a look on the 24th for the first legend team of the season. Huge congrats to them. Of course, yeah, for me at least, I'm celebrating Christmas today, but it's not a day of rest for me because as you can see here, we don't want to do all the videos. How's it for you? Like, do you even celebrate Christmas? I know a lot of people don't, so yeah. I just didn't really want to make it too much of a focus for today. But yeah, let's take a look at the team. We're going to have an interesting team here. We're going to have a double electric line, and we're going to have the Talonflame in the back. And I tried this team out now for 2 sets. You're going to see every single game. There's nothing cut out. There's just literally every single game is in the video. You're going to see everything, every pro and every con of this team. One con that they also told me is Broguiere. Broguiere is going to completely restore this team. You can still play against it a little bit with a charjabug. Charjabug does outspeed the Broguiere in a neutral scenario, and I think you might be able to win the 2-shield scenario with a charjabug against the Broguiere. But that's basically it. Like, your lead is going to be a little bit tough for it. Also, like, your Pokemon in the back going to be a little bit tough for it. But I guess Talonflame is also fine if you have some energy. But here, first game, we're sadly going to lose. Let's take a look at the second game. And I can spoil already, this team worked out pretty well for me. Like, honestly, like, this team definitely worked out pretty well. We're going to have here the next game, great lead for us and also great swap for us. As you're going to see, the Talonflame now being able to go up against the Superior. Best Pokemon for this team, for sure, the Talonflame. Talonflame was by far my MVP for this team here, as we were able to sweep a ton of opponents with this. Like, a lot of people don't really expect it nowadays. You don't really see it every single game anymore because people kind of stop playing with it after, like, the start of the season. But yeah, like, this Pokemon definitely is really strong still, and we will be able to use it to full advantage here in this game as well. So we're going to be able to get already a knockout, but also shield advantage. I can swap into my Lanturn against the Skeledirge, and we know already with the Poliwrath in the back, we're going to still have our Charjabug, which is going to be a hard counter towards it as well. So we don't really care too much about the health of our Lanturn. We can just let the Shadow Ball go through, keep the shield advantage, and so we can swap out, and the opponent has nowhere to go. Like, where is this Poliwrath going to go in this team? I guess it's still okay against something like the Talonflame, but it's not even great against it either. So we're going to be able to win this game pretty easily. Next opponent, we're going to have the MEWeedle in the lead, and I usually want to swap out here because my backline is a little bit better against it, and we're going to see here the Lickitung coming in. One fear that I have here is that they're going to have something like a Bastion in the back, but at the end of the day, why didn't they go into this one already? And this kind of how this team also kind of works. You kind of want to try to get out a potential Bastion with the safe swap of the Charjabug, so your Talonflame can sweep end game. Charjabug basically always gonna get this one out because it's such a bad matchup for it. But yeah, you kind of need to keep your Lanturn for a potential Bastion alive. But as you're going to see here as well, we're going to be able to actually force switch advantage if you want to. In the 2-to-1 shield scenario, you're going to be able to force switch advantage with the Charjabug against the Lickitung, which is kind of funny, which you're going to go for here as well. But as you can see here, it is going to be very important, or like kind of important, because you're going to have now the Sand Slash against us, and the opponent is going to get core broken by the Talonflame, which is just mad. Talonflame is going to town here, and I'm not even going to swap out anymore. Like, Talonflame is going to stay in here. I could swap out into my Lanturn if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to sweep with the Talonflame. Fly coming through, gonna get shielded. Fly coming through again, they cannot shield it anymore, the shield is gone, and so this game is also gone for the opponent, as they can farm on the Sand Slash as well. Next opponent, speaking of Talonflame not being that common anymore, we're going to have a Talonflame against us, but they decide to stay in, which I find very weird here, because, like, what matchup could be worse in the back for them to swap into? Because Talonflame is gonna get completely shredded here by the Lanturn amazing lead force in the beginning. As the opponent decides to swap out into, we will find out shortly, it's going to be the MEWeedle, which is totally fine for me. I can swap out into my own Charjabug, I can go for my own charge move. As Charjabug is charging fast, we will be able to go for the Exeter, and this is going to get the opponent fairly low, below half health with this Volt Switch coming through. They're running Power Punch. I was like thinking, okay, Power Punch, Ice Punch, that's a nice moveset here, definitely something that I would consider as well. But no, I was wrong. The opponent is running Power Punch, but also still the debuffed Psychic, which is an interesting play here. Does not knock me out anymore. They're going to have a Jellicent in the back against my Lanturn, and I'll play this one a little bit risky because I don't know, I already know at this point that I should be able to win this game, as we will be able to get the shield advantage here as well. I decide to no-shield this one. They go for the Shadow Ball, which is the correct play, but I know already at this point the Talonflame is going to be able to win this game from this range of the opponent's health. So, like, I was not too worried. You're going to see it as well here. Fly is going to put them into fall down range, and so we're going to be able to easily win this game. Next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead for us. We swap out immediately to the charjabug just to get hardwalled again by the Galarian Stunfisk. And at this point, I kinda know already what they're going to have in the back, which is going to be very likely at least. The Sableye. Sableye is very common with this kind of lineup with the Venusaur plus the Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm kind of playing towards that one. And so what I can do here is, even though I'm getting hard countered here, I can still do something with my kind of scenario right now, because I can just let this move go through. I can go back into my land, and I might be able to force switch advantage or get the opponent, like maybe get a knockout against the opponent. But what I kind of need to do here is I have to keep my shields for the Talonflame. Talonflame with shields up has so much potential here, because I know already that you're going to be able to beat the Venusaur. So as long as it's going to be in a neutral matchup here in the back, which it's going to be, of course, it's going to be the Sableye, we're going to be in a decent spot. I can just use a shield here against the opponent. Foul play is going to get shielded. I can go for the Flame Charge. The Flame Charge is going to boost my own attack, and as you can see now, I need maybe 3 more Incinerates to knock them out. I don't know, but I can still at least go for one more Fly, which is forcing the final shield of the opponent. And so I can go for the full farm down now with the Talonflame. I get the free fast move in, and like this, I have already still a Fly stored, and so the opponent's Venusaur is gonna get a boosted and a stab Fly here, which is going to get a one-shot onto the opponent. Next opponent coming in, we're going to have a great lead here with the Toxapex, but great leads don't always mean everything here, as you're going to see as well. With the Gligar swapping in, this is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. I can still get the shield, and I can swap out into my Talonflame, and what I can get next here is going to be even better, because I can even let this move go through. It's going to be just the Aerial Ace, and I can get another Fly in, which is going to force the opponent to shield once again, which is going to be amazing for me. As you will see here, I use the shield as well, trying to realign, but I most likely have to use 2 as well. But what I can do, if I use 2 shields, I should be able to go for the full farm down against the opponent, which is going to be amazing, as they should be out of energy, and I will be able to do exactly this. And here I make a mistake. I should have went for the charge move, and I decided to swap out first, because, yeah, the opponent got a free fast move in for this. Basically, I had to wait a little bit in order to swap out, like, 1 turn, basically. And this is going to be a little bit crucial later on as well, as you're going to see. We're going to see the Mud Bomb coming through as well. The opponent is going to be able to go for another one in time, way faster than I thought that they would get to. But I can go for one Fly, and I was hoping that they didn't get the Mud Shot in, but sadly they were able to get the knockout here, and so it's going to come down if the opponent gets a Scald debuff or not. If I do not get a Scald debuff, I think I win this game. And of course, I lose the game because of this. Fairly certain I would be able to just get to 2 discharges here and knock out the opponent. I know that the Wish Kiss is like down in range for 1 Volt Switch, but sadly, this is not going to happen here. The opponent is going to be able to go for the Brine. I would still be able to go for the discharge, but there's no point in doing so. Next opponent, I faced a ton of Gligar, and Gligar is a little bit tricky for this team as well, I feel like, so I definitely didn't get all the great Pokemon to encounter, and I still went kind of positive with this team. Like, actually, I think I went 7-3 or something with it. You see it here anyway, it's either 6-4 or 7-3, which is totally fine for this kind of team. The opponent swaps out into the Lanturn, which is a smart play here. I decided to now stay in with my Lanturn, try to get some energy, because I feel like that Surf might come in clutch later on against the Gligar again. So I just take a Thunderbolt here, and as the opponent is going to go down a little bit here as well in terms of the health that they have left, I can swap out into my Charjabug. Charjabug will have a decent time here. I can still go for the Exeter, which is going to be doing as much damage as basically the Discharge. I hope that they buff Discharge eventually, because I feel like it's a move that can kind of get buffed without really breaking any Pokemon right now, because it's not really the strongest move either. But as you can see here, we can just go for the Exeter against the opponent's Gligar. Gonna get them low enough to maybe even put them into range for the farm down of the Talonflame. I expect the opponent to go straight for the Dig, that's why I decide to go into my Talonflame here instead of my Lanturn, which might be a little bit of a tricky play, but I will be able to let the move go through from the opponent here as well, as the opponent swaps out into a Skarmory for whatever reason. This is going to be a great matchup for me here. Let's see this. We're going to see the Flame Charge coming through. We're going to do some nice damage and get the attack buff as well, as we will see the Sky Attack coming through next. We can just go for the farm down, and in comes the Gligar, and as long as they don't have like 2 Digs or whatever, like Aerial Ace and a Dig, I think I still survive an Aerial Ace from this range. We're going to be fine here, as we're going to go for the Surf. The opponent does not have another charge move, but I do, and so we will be able to win the game. Keeping energy was key in this matchup, so let's move on into the next game. The next opponent is going to run a Skarmory. Like, I encountered a lot of Skarmories, which is amazing for this team, like I have to say this, definitely more than I usually encounter. And we're gonna see the Vigoroth coming in, and I expect that they're going to have a Mudboy in the back, because this is a very classic line. This is the thing as well, if you play something that is very, very common or like very classic, people can predict what they have in the back. And here at this point, I know if they have a Mudboy in the back, I don't need my Lanturn. I don't want my Lanturn. So I decided to just let my Lanturn go down and just go for the Surf here. I should swap out here, to be fair. Like, I should definitely swap out into my, into my charjabug instead of letting them farm me down. This was a huge mistake in my opinion. Like, this would have just made this game way, way easier for me. But, yeah, like, we're gonna see the Wishcats in the back as expected. So, we hopefully are still going to have a great time here. It's going to be definitely a closer one, because I did not swap out there, which is really silly of me, because, yeah, I just gave the opponent free farm. Like, it was completely unnecessary. But it's also early morning for me right now, so definitely not as ideal. We're going to see the Mud Bomb coming through. I can still try to hit another charge move, but I decided to let this move go through as well. It's going to be a Scald. I can still survive. I can swap out, and we will see the Skarmory coming back in here against our Talonflame. We can go for the Flame Charge, but something that I didn't know before is that actually Skarmory will be able to get to a move in the Zero Shield scenario against us, and this can be the Brave Bird. They went for the Sky Attack, but they would get to Brave Bird at the same time. So we can still go for the Flame Charge. Flame Charge is going to boost our attack, and with a boosted attack, as you're going to see as well, we're going to do just slightly enough damage to put them perfectly into range for one wall switch, and this is going to win us this game. Second to last game, we're going to encounter another Mudboy. We definitely didn't really have the greatest matchups here today, but this doesn't really matter, because it's kind of better to showcase, I feel like, a team where you can get like hardwalled a little bit more and still going to be able to come back from it. Here we're going to see the Skarmory swapping in, which is kind of cool for me, because I'm definitely going to be able to get realignment here, or what would be even better would be a ton of energy on my other Pokemon. And the opponent decides to let this move go through, and I decide to let this move go through, because this is a prime example on how you want to play the Talonflame. You need some energy on Talonflame. Shields plus energy on Talonflame is crazy. As the opponent decides to go into their own Talonflame, they're still locked in this matchup, which is kind of funny. So we're going to be able to just take this fly, go for the Surf, and most likely knock them out at this point, which is going to be amazing for me as well, as they're gonna have to now go into their Wish Gas. They have one Pokemon against two of my Pokemon. I can now still survive a Mud Bomb, so I decide to let this move go through, go for the Surf afterwards, which is going to put them into range for just one fly, which is amazing, but they decide to actually use a shield. So 2 flies it is, but I still have 1 stored already. I get a free fast move in the opponent. They didn't even go for any fast move on their own, and so we're gonna be able to just go for 2 flies, knock them out, and win this second to last game for today, which is going to be amazing for us. Talonflame is honestly the MVP of this team. Next opponent, final opponent, we're going to see the matchup that you all kind of waited for. Not the Skarmory matchup, this is going to be a great one. No, it's going to be the Dragonair matchup. Dragonair is going to be the worst possible Pokemon to encounter for this team, and I was slow here. If I was faster with the swap, I would be able to realign here as far as I know, because I should be able to just go for 3 Exodus, and I think it would be enough to knock them out against the Shadow variant. But because I was so slow, I have to decide to let this move go through and go for the shield advantage instead of the switch advantage, which is really sad for me. So this was my own mistake, something that you kind of have to note when you play this team on your own. You kind of want to swap out a little bit faster with your charjabug there, because you have basically 4 turns, I think, that you can go for free, or like 3 turns, I think, that you can just waste or like wait out, but I think I waited out like 5 turns or something, which was a little bit too much. And so the opponent is going to still have a Wish Cast in the back, which is going to be a little bit of an awkward one as well. I go for the Surf here, hoping that this is going to put them into range for 1 fly, but it all depends if the opponent gets a debuff here or not. Let's see. Scald is coming through, is going to not get the debuff. I can still go for my own fly. The opponent stays in here. Is this going to be enough to knock out the opponent's Wish Cast? It is barely not enough, and I get a free fast move in, so maybe there's still a chance. Scald is coming through. Not getting a debuff here is going to be very crucial for me as well. I can still go for the Flame Charge. The Flame Charge is coming through. Gonna do some decent damage, but sadly not enough to win this game. The opponent is going to take this one. I feel like this was winnable if I swapped out a little bit earlier, but this is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks all for watching. Congratulations again to hitting rank 1, or like rank 1 in the world, but also Legend first for the season. So see you then. Bye bye.